Hi everyone, my name is Rana and the subject of my today presentation is about automated workforce scheduler for hospitals, aligning the right talent in the right place at the right time. But first let me tell you a little story. My story takes place in a hospital and has got three main characters. John Smith, the roster creator who is responsible for creating, maintaining, and publishing rosters for the whole hospital. Jess is John's secretary who helps with admin work. Last but not least is Fred, a doctor who works at the hospital. It's 9 a.m. and John needs to start creating the roster for this month. To do so, first he needs to gather lots of information, including the ward's needs and requirements, and staff qualifications and working hours. He also needs to consider staff shift requests which have been submitted on lots of papers. Once John has gathered all the information that he needs for creating the roster template, he needs to sit and fill the roster manually. When finished, he needs to review the roster before publishing. Now that John has done the review, it's time to send an email to all the staff so they have access to the roster for this month. I think everything is done now. Well done, John. I know. You should be proud of yourself. It was a lot of work. It's in the morning and Fred is checking his emails. Oh, the new roster was published. Let's see what you got, Fred. What happened? You didn't get enough shifts? You were overallocated. You need to submit shift requests again. Fred writes new shift request, prints it, and gives it to Jess so she can give it to John. Jess is now busy working when suddenly a GP calls in sick. Now she needs to tell John, and John needs to find the best substitute for Lee's shift. John starts finding all the potential available staff and sends their contact details to Jess, asking her to call all of them one by one, and if not successful, call a few agencies. Jess is not very happy about it. She's got a lot to do. But anyway, she starts calling the staff, but unfortunately, none of them can take Lee's shift. As a last resort, she calls the agency. Yes, they can do it, but it's very costly. Think the problem is solved. John, what happened? You have a lot to do. The roster is never good enough. Where is everyone when you need them? The agencies are very expensive and you need to drink. I don't think that's a very good idea, John. Jess, what's with you? You cannot keep calling all these unavailable staff and stupid agencies. Ouch. Fred, I know, you never get fair schedules. You could feel Lee's shift. Why nobody told you? How can IT help us with this problem? Oh, I got an idea. Let's propose using Workforce Scheduler web and mobile app with which we can create efficient and fair rosters, eliminate the paperwork, save time, and give real-time visibility to all available staff so we can decrease the workload, increase productivity, and lower the costs. Let's see how this solution works for John and medical staff. Here's a snapshot of the Workforce Scheduler web app which John can use to create the rosters. As you can see, he can use the preloaded templates for any unit so he doesn't need to look at the ward's needs separately. The staff profiles and availability is also preloaded to the system and he doesn't need to check them in a separate database. Also, on the same system, he has access to submitted electronic staff shift and time of request. Last but not least is the functionality that we call magic button, the call list. Let's see how this can find replacement staff. At 2 o'clock, Lee sends a message to John and says he's sick for a shift that starts at 3 o'clock. As a result, John flags Lee as absent in the system, which creates an open shift. Next, John presses the magic button, the call list. With that one, Workforce Scheduler generates a list of available and qualified candidates to fill Lee's shift. Quickly after that, the system automatically sends a text message to all the potential staff notifying them about the open shift. A qualified employee called Rob accepts the shift via his mobile device. Then John receives a message that Rob is able to fill the shift. The schedule automatically updates. Rob begins the shift at 3 o'clock. It's business as usual. Now let's have a look at the app, the Workforce Scheduler app, which enables Fred and all other medical staff to check the roster, submit shift and time of requests, and communicate directly with John. They can also receive alerts for open shifts on the go. Look, everybody's quite happy. John can create fair and efficient rosters in less time. He doesn't need to use agencies as he has real-time access to available staff. Fred can check his roster and receive any updates and shift alerts on the go and doesn't need to submit requests on paper or over the phone. Just no longer needs to spend hours finding a suitable staff over the phone. As a result of using automated Workforce Scheduler, the right staff is now allocated to the right place and at the right time, and all of our characters are quite happy. Thank you for watching.
Created using Powtoon.